Hey everybody, Jake here. This is a 2014 Toyota Highlander V6 with an automatic transmission. And what we're going to do today is we're going to show you exactly where the drain is for the automatic transmission and where to fill it. Also going to discuss what tools are needed to do the job. This video is not going to demonstrate how to do it. It's just going to show you where to locate these things that have been driving you crazy. Let's get started right now. So here's a rundown of the tools you're going to need: a filler adapter, a torque wrench, a 3/8 inch ratchet, 10mm socket, a 6mm hex socket, and a 24mm socket. Okay, the first thing that most people are going to do is they're going to pop the hood and they're going to look around underneath. Obviously that's the oil dipstick. That's where you put the oil in, but we're looking for transmission today. We're not looking for engine oil. So let's continue looking. If you look down behind the battery, behind the air intake, you're going to see the transmission which comes off the side of the engine. But you're going to look and look and look. You're not going to find a dipstick. You're not going to find any place to add the transmission fluid. What is going on? Things are definitely much different than the way they used to be. What these manufacturers are doing is they're sending a very simple message. We don't want you to check the transmission fluid. Quite simple. Well, forget what Toyota says. Let me show you a couple things. So if you crawl under the car on the driver's side, you're going to locate the pan. The white arrows are showing where the transmission pan is, and you see the yellow arrows pointing to the transmission drain plug. If you decide you want to let the transmission fluid out and you think you're going to take that plug out and do it, you're mistaken. You're only going to get about 1 quart of transmission fluid out by doing that. If you want to drain all the transmission fluid out, you're going to actually have to drop the pan. And since this is just a discussion video, keep in mind that there's several bolts around this pan and a gasket. To drop the pan, you got to remove the bolts. Over here is the drain, as I said before, and that's going to take a special 6mm hex socket. And if you're wondering why you just can't throw a Allen key on there, remember this has to be torqued down tight again, so you're going to need a socket to put on your torque wrench. Okay, so let's answer the next 2 questions, which is probably the reason why you're here in the first place. Where's the dipstick? There is no dipstick. Okay, second question, how do you fill this thing? Well, that I can show you. Start by pulling off the driver's side wheel in the front. Okay, once you get that wheel off, you're going to look for a small plastic plate that's held on by 2 bolts. They're 10mm in size, and you're going to have to remove both of those bolts. And there's also a clip that holds this plate on. I've got the wrench on it right there. Take a look and see where that is, and you can see it on your own car. So you're going to take off that piece of plastic right there. And let's just speed through this. Remember, after you take these 2 bolts out, there's also a clip that's holding this piece of plastic on that's kind of behind the fender there on the left. So be careful because you can break that clip. Alright, you see that big bolt right there? You're going to need a 24mm socket to remove that. You know you're on the right bolt because it says WS on the face of the bolt. Remember also, that bolt is going to have to be torqued back down, and don't forget to replace the little aluminum crush washer in there. It costs about $3.50 at the Toyota dealership. And there is the 24mm socket that you can use to remove that. You're also going to need, as I mentioned in the list of tools, you're going to need a rubber tube that's going to connect to the top of your automatic transmission fluid bottle. And it actually looks like this, and the purpose of this is so that you can put the fluid back into the transmission while holding the bottle upside down, it actually has like a little valve. That yellow thing right there is a valve, so you can shut the oil off. You can shut the fluid off so it doesn't pour out when you hold that bottle upside down. But you're going to need to put that tube in that hole after you take that plug out that says WS on it, and you're going to fill the transmission again with the same amount of oil, that fluid that you took out in the first place. Once you added your fluid and you put the plug back in and you torqued it to 36 foot-pounds, now it's time to just put the plastic cover back on and of course put your wheel back on, and you should be ready to go. One of the things that I haven't mentioned, and I'm going to stress right here, is that always use the Toyota transmission fluid for these cars. Don't go to Pep Boys or Advanced Auto and buy some kind of synthetic automatic transmission fluid, even if it says compatible with Toyota. You don't really want to do that. These transmissions are very finicky, and I would only use what Toyota recommends for their transmissions in this case, and this is the Toyota transmission fluid only. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I come out with a video just about once a week, something good, something helpful. And please check out my other videos, and thumbs up and comments are always helpful and welcome.